Hey friends, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Maddy, and welcome to the Canadian Rockies.
This epic range of mountains runs for 1,200 kilometres.
It starts all the way at the top of the British Columbia border near the Yukon, runs south through Alberta and all the way down to the US border.
The range includes several world-class national parks, including Banff, Jasper, Kootenay and Yoho. And together they form a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
The Canadian Rockies is known for its absolutely breathtaking landscapes, lots of wildlife and plenty of outdoor adventure opportunities.
The Canadian Rockies is a must-do for anyone visiting Canada. And in this video, we're going to be exploring 4 of the consistently top-rated experiences to do when visiting the Canadian Rockies.
Okay, so our first stop is at a place that's known to be the crown jewel of the Rockies, and it is, of course, Lake Louise.
There is so many hiking trails to do, so we've picked one that's going to give us a balance of a little bit of a challenge, but also a reward along the way. We're doing the Lake Agnes Trail and going to be popping into the Agnes Teahouse for a bit of mid-morning cuppa and a snack.
Yes, give me a coffee.
We're on to it.
Hot tip when coming to Lake Louise is to definitely come early, because if you're here in the summer months, it's very popular and there's many tourists also trying to do the same thing. The other thing is the Teahouse can sell out of its yummy baked goods, so we recommend getting up early and going for a nice early morning hike.
Right now it is just on 7 a.m.
Yep.
So we're hoping that that's early enough to make sure we don't miss out.
Yeah.
We're going to get going. So the Lake Agnes Trail is a 7-kilometre round trip, only accessible on foot or horseback. So obviously we don't have horses at the moment. So if you're taking it on foot, highly recommend you make sure that you pack some snacks, some water, you're sun safe, some sturdy hiking boots or runners, because as you can see, there's a moderate elevation gain. All right, we're nearly there, so we'll show you what the top looks like. Check this out. That's Lake Louise, where we started earlier today, and you can just see how turquoise that color is now with the sun beaming down on it.
So we've just made it to the top. Here's our cafe, the little tea house.
Maddy,
Yeah.
I've just had a look at the menu, and I've noticed that there is an absence of coffee. What's up with that?
Well, it's a tea house. I should have known. It's just tea, not coffee.
It is Canada's oldest tea house.
They have to get everything up onto the mountain. The staff pack things up, and some of the really heavy things like flour, sugar, propane actually get helicoptered in twice a year.
So to go alongside your tea, what are you going to grab?
I'll grab a little snack, something that's gluten-free for me, like an energy bar or a mountain slice, something like that.
The reward to bring it all together, I'm going to grab some tea biscuits and scones with jam, and yeah, enjoy the outlook with Maddy as we are taking the reward for a hike well done.
Nice.
In the meantime, Maddy had her sights on those crystal blue waters, so here's what happened next. Where are we going, Maddy?
We're going to do what no one else does and go for a swim
Oof.
in the glacier lake.
How cold do you reckon it is?
Well, I just Google searched and said it's like more like a polar plunge. Nah, I swim in a lake.
We're the few with the steel to go get it done. Obviously, it's very hard to convey just how cold the water's going to be over video. So probably our shrieks and heavy breathing might be a good indication. She's in, all right? I'm going. There we go. She's in.
Okay, it's cold.
It's cold?
Yeah.
It's very cold. Woo! The mic's still above the water. What do you reckon, boo? I thought we've done it. So after we dried off from our polar plunge, we made our way back to the Lake Louise car park. And one thing you need to think about and take care of when coming to Lake Louise is parking and your transportation.
There's very limited parking here. You either need to get here really early or be really lucky. Parking is expensive. It's about 37 Canadian for a day in peak season, which is when we're here. Otherwise, you can pay for a private shuttle. There's shuttles run by the park, which are way more affordable, but also really hard to get at last minute. You have to get those in advance. So thinking about what option would suit you is important to figure out before you come to Lake Louise.
That's a wrap on us from Lake Louise. We are currently en route to jumping in our car, and we're going to take you on one of the most popular, prolific and scenic drives through the Canadian Rockies, if not Canada. So stay tight and we'll see you at the Icefields Parkway drive. Catch ya.
Bye.
So we've changed gears up at the moment, and we are now driving on what is considered one of the most beautiful roads in the world, the Icefields Parkway. This road stretches for 232 kilometres from Lake Louise, where we just were, all the way up to Jasper. And along the way, there are plenty of beautiful spots, sights to take on board, and wildlife that you can see on this road.
Hiring a car is definitely the best way to see the Icefields Parkway. It allows you to really take your time and create your own itinerary to see all the beautiful stops. To enter the Icefields Parkway, you do need a Canada Parks Discovery Pass. And so we have bought the annual pass, which lasts us a whole year, and it costs us about $75, and it gives us unlimited access to all the national parks in Canada. However, if that's not really viable for you, as in you're only here for a few days, then you can buy day passes or week-long passes too.
We recommend pulling up at any or all of these 4 stops that we did as well. Peyto Lake, Bow Lake, Athabasca Glacier, and the Columbia Icefields. As you can imagine, these are very popular spots, so we recommend catching them in the morning or in the evening for that golden hour glow to catch some really beautiful photos.
So normally the Icefields Parkway drive takes anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, depending on road conditions and how many stops you want to take. You can camp overnight. There's many campsites along the way. We've done that. And then this morning we've gotten up to explore the beautiful Bow Lake. As you can see, it's pretty stunning. So if you are planning to drive the Icefields Parkway, there are a few things that you should consider before you take off.
Make sure that you prepare food or you pack it ahead of your drive. There aren't many spots along the drive where you can stop in to get some tucker, and you are going to be getting hungry as you're pulling up to take up some of the scenes. Secondly, there is no reception along the entire drive, so make sure that you've downloaded all of your maps, your music and entertainment.
And lastly, make sure you have a full tank before you do this drive. There is only one fuel station along the whole highway, so you don't want to get into a pickle like we may have found ourselves in. Stay tuned to see if we make it.
What do you reckon, 30 kilometers to the next fuel station? We got this?
I reckon. I
Let's
have hope.
go.
Let's hope so. We got no reception, so
Hey-o!
this is why.
This
we
is
give
why.
these pro tips, because
Yep.
we've lived and breathed it.
Yep, learning the lessons without the scars. That's what we do for you guys. There we go. Dodged a bullet there. We'll get filling and then we'll get moving to our next activity. Where are we heading?
We're going canoeing.
Let's do it. Get on the water. Catch my friends. See there.
Good morning. Today we are going canoeing
Yo.
in a glacier lake. We are currently at Emerald Lake in Yoho National Park.
There are 2 reasons why we chose to come here to Emerald Lake in particular. Number 1, it's more affordable for a canoe hire than many of the other popular lakes. Number 2 is it's not as busy, so it's easy to find a park.
Yes.
And you know, we didn't have to queue up for too long in order to get a canoe.
So to hire a canoe, it costs us 100 Canadian dollars per hour, and you can fit up to 3 people in the canoe. You are able to rent a canoe from anywhere from mid-June to October-ish, depending on weather. And this is a really family-friendly, beginner-friendly place to canoe, as the waters are almost always calm and wind rarely causes an issue.
Now, just because the waters are calm and there's no wind doesn't mean it isn't a little bit of hard work to be rowing, because as you can see, I'm the only one doing the work in the largest glacial lake in the Yoho National Park.
Hey, someone's got to hold the camera.
Oh boy, well, someone's got to keep us moving.
The lake is actually named after its resemblance to the emerald gemstone. As you can see, this colour is just phenomenal. The colour of the lake is created by glacial sediments that settle in the lake, and then the way that the sun reflects off the lake with those sediments causes this beautiful colour that you can see.
I've taken the back seat literally and metaphorically, as Maddie is now powering our motion and letting me have a breather. Worth mentioning that Emerald Lake offers more than just canoeing as an activity. First and foremost, there are several hikes you can do around, including one of the more popular ones around the perimeter of the Emerald Lake. It's about a 5.2 kilometer flat, easygoing hike. You can also jump in the water, as glacial waters, you best believe they are pretty crisp and pretty fresh to jump in if you so dare. And last but not least, if you're hungry, you can grab a bite or a drink at 2 places nearby. Number 1, you can go to Cilantro by the lake. Sometimes they run events, so if they're closed, it's all good. You can go to the Emerald Lake Lodge for a bite as well. So before we wrap up, we wanted to leave you just with a couple of expert tips.
If you have your own kayak or canoe or watercraft, you can use it here. There is a boat launch area.
Secondly, as with any busy, popular tourist locations, highly recommend you either get here very early on or very, very late, and you just miss that kind of morning peak, that morning rush.
Yeah.
Even though we arrived around 9:30 a.m, we did get very lucky. We were able to get a car park. But if you want a little bit more certainty that you're definitely going to get a spot, make sure you're conscious of those arrival times.
Yeah, especially in peak season, it is busy. And the last tip we have for you is that there is a spot very close to Emerald Lake called the Natural Bridge, which is a really good spot to stop off and see on your way to or from Emerald Lake.
That's all from Emerald Lake and the beautiful cues that will not be forgotten on us. So, Maddie, where are we going to next? What is our 4th and final spot.
We're going to be exploring Banff and maybe a bit of cycling.
Amazing. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking on this
Yeah.
one. We'll see you in the next place.
Bye.
Catch ya. Good morning, my friend. Today is sadly our last day exploring the Canadian Rockies. So we're going to spend today checking out the iconic town of Banff.
But we thought we might change it up today and we're going to cycle into the town of Banff from Canmore along the Rocky Mountain Legacy Trail.
It's a flat, very easy 22-kilometre trail that's accessible for cyclists of all skill levels. You can hire yourself a push bike or an e-bike from many of the local bike rental companies that'll set you back about $50 to $100 a day.
All right, let's get cycling then.
The trail is incredibly well maintained and there are plenty of stops along the way with washrooms and also picnic tables. So just like Maddy is right now, you can stop, have a snack, grab a drink, and admire the incredible scenery. Check this out.
So the Legacy Trail was built to celebrate the 125th anniversary of Banff National Park. Now the trail normally takes cyclists anywhere from 2 to 3 hours return trip. However, if you're not feeling up to cycling in both directions, you can get a shuttle back to your starting point.
Woo, we're flying. Got a little bit more to go. Couple of kilometres and we're going to make it into Banff. Fortunately, we got up relatively early, so we beat the midday heat. Looking forward to grabbing a coffee and a bite because I'm definitely feeling famished after this ride. All right, we just made it to the town of Banff after safely securing our bikes in the complimentary valet bike service just next to the visitor centre.
The town of Banff is located inside Banff National Park, which was established in 1885 as Canada's very first national park. Banff's official population is about 8,000 residents. However, on some of the busiest summer days, the visitor adjusted population comes to just over 50,000. It's clear that for that reason, tourism is one of the main economic drivers for the town of Banff.
We're going to take you round to enjoy some of the quaint buildings, shopping, food and experiences on offer. So let's get going. It couldn't be a stopover without grabbing an iconic piece of merchandise, although it took Maddy a little bit of time to find her favourite. We finally decided.
Yeah.
What are we grabbing?
Getting a large, oversized tee
Oh yeah?
with Banff National Park.
Oh, very good.
It's going to be my bedtime shirt.
On our way to a museum, a wildlife ambassador educated us on how to use bear spray.
Next, we headed on over to the White Museum, which cost us $12 Canadian per person for entrance fee. We got to admire some beautiful art and learnt about the evolving history, peoples and environment of mountain cultures.
So we've just come from the museum, been dealing with some of the unrelenting midday heat.
Woof.
Walking through the park. Maddy's been keen to jump into the water the entire time, as you can probably hear. But the payoff has been to get to Bow Falls, a scenic lookout here in Banff. It's about a 20-minute walk.
I don't think I'll be jumping in this one.
Maybe not this one.
Looks a bit too rough.
Don't know if we'd catch you again. But yeah, popular spot to look at and chill. So let's get a look at those crispy blue waters.
Yeah, I just want to go down there.
You want to just get in?
Swim.
Get into that. I don't blame you. Where are we heading to now?
I need some lunch.
Yep. Wrap it up. Get out of the heat.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to BeaverTails, a Canadian tradition.
What are you going for?
All right, so I think I've decided on the banana rama. I've always loved banana growing up. And, the combination with chocolate should be enough to get me going. History goes that a couple called Pam and Grant Hooker in Ottawa kicked off these pastries in 1978. They started selling them at local fairs. As you can tell, things got pretty popular. It kicked on pretty well, and nearly 50 years later, BeaverTails is now a beloved Canadian outlet across the entire country. And I'm going to have my first. Let's do it. Thank you so much. This is my first BeaverTails ever. Appreciate it, guys. Take care. Let's go. All right, taste test it. That is so sweet. That is so indulgent.
So we finished up our time here in the Canadian Rocky Mountains, and to finish the day, we've decided to jump on the Banff Gondola that's taking us up to the top of Sulphur Mountain. We've had an epic time, haven't we?
Oof, absolutely. It's been a blitz of the last few days here in the Canadian Rockies. What have we done again?
Oh, I mean, from the breathtaking drive of the Icefields Parkway to exploring Lake Louise on foot and hiking. We also did canoeing on the glacier lake and exploring the historic town of Banff.
Let us know in the comments if we missed any spots or there are any of your favourites in the Canadian Rockies. We'd love to hear them.
Wishing you safe travels for when you do go to the Canadian Rockies. I'm Maddy.
And I'm Daniel, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.